Mike Van Wyck and Jeff Nippard recently had a bit of a tussle, and I've been kind of waiting to see all the information before it came up, before I gave any takes or looked at any of the information, because during the confrontation, some things were being recorded that wasn't released until recently. So I'm happy to actually go through it all now, and actually Greg Duecette did a complete breakdown of all of it, so now I can give my full take. Find the whole thing interesting, so let's take a look. Let's get into it. Hey guys! Greg, dude.
All of this was filmed by his cameraman, but they released only that 6-second clip.
The moment you've been waiting for. Jeff Nippard has sent me all of the footage. Everything
Yes.
that was said, what happened before the altercation, everything. And not only that, we also have CCT footage.
Shameful.
And so we're going to see once and for all, who is really at fault? Was it actually...
See, the problem with this that I immediately notice off the bat is look at the angle of this push.
And for all,
look at the angle of this. We're going to break it down. We're going to get scientific. Bam. He's on the side. Now, the one thing I've been noticing is everyone has been infantilizing Jeff Nippard. I'm sorry to pause it so soon. Saying, oh, how could you do this to Chinese Jeff Nippard? Jeff Nippard's 180 pounds. He's not by any means like a flower. Okay, he's going to bounce back up. He's going to be fine. That being said, the angle that he did push him, he could have easily hit this rack right here. And that could have been catastrophic. That could have killed him. That could have been awful, obviously. So, just on that, and that is enough for me, this guy deserves what's coming to him, actually.
is really at fault? Was it actually Jeff that instigated the entire thing, or is it still Mike to blame after all? And so by the end of this video, you'll be able to decide for yourself. Who is to blame? Is it Jeff? Is it Mike? Is it both of them? What is going to happen in court? What will be the outcomes? Everything going to be discussed in this video.
Let's get into it. Hopefully we learned something.
And so initially, the first interaction that happens today,
by the way,
after Jeff had made that response video, was Mike Van Wyck walks up to Jeff while he's doing a set. He gets in his personal space. Jeff is clearly recording. He's recording all the time. This is a gym where everyone records. It's similar to zoo culture, and so this is the norm. It's to be expected. And every person that goes into that gym signs a waiver that says you may in fact be caught on film. People know about this, they accept this. Mike Van Wyck is literally a staff that works at that gym, or shall I say...
Just to pause it really quick, that is actually really common on like powerlifting gyms. I know, I've been to one over here, and you can actually do full films. They actually have like little, what do you call them? Little stands where you can place your cameras. They're like littered everywhere. It's a big field. So a lot of people will pay premiums to even go to these things because, like, I mean, lifting and bodybuilding, strength sports have hit such huge degrees in social media and all and everything that we've kind of been inundated with recently that it's just flushed with, people with cameras and trying to get viral stuff or give you scientific breakdowns. So yeah, this is actually very common, and he had to know there was cameras everywhere.
Worked at that gym, and so he's there all the time, and so he would be aware 100%. Of this. And so he decided on that day to walk up to Jeff, perhaps a foot from his face, getting in his personal space while he's doing a set and saying sup. And so of anyone that started this, clearly it's Mike. Imagine if Jeff had done the same thing. If Mike Van Wyck had been at the gym doing a set, perhaps training his clients, and Jeff had walked up to him in his face and said, sup, that would have provoked him. But this is not what happened. Mike provoked Jeff by walking up to him and saying sup. Now, after this, and Jeff's cameraman acknowledges this, Jeff...
See, that's where I was like, that's an obvious intimidation move. Like, look at this. Look at this.
Now, after this, and Jeff's cameraman acknowledges this, Jeff then chuckled. Wouldn't you do the same thing? Think of it.
Yeah,
you're doing a set, you're at the gym,
like,
you're filming
what?
for YouTube.
You guys see that? What the fuck?
You're mid-set, and a man walks up to you within a foot of your face and says, sup. Well, you just ruined my set. I'm filming, but hey, I'll redo it. But he's got to find it funny. Look at bro walking in my face and saying sup. And so he turns to his cameraman. What do you
What was
expect him to
that?
do? Say nothing? Blank stare? And so he shrugs it off. It's uncomfortable when somebody does this to you, and it's normal human interactions to laugh about it. That is what we do. Sometimes when people are made fun of or something is uncomfortable, you have that uncomfortable laugh.
I have a really bad thing in any stressful situation. I will start giggling. It is bad. I'm giving you guys insight into who I am. Anytime I'm in a really stressful thing, I can't help it. I don't know. It's just a weird thing I have. I heard it's common, but yeah, you know, not good, not good. But it's very common. So yeah, sometimes when something is like stressful or weird, you're gonna kind of giggle and try to be like, oh, well, that was weird. Try to laugh it off, you know.
That's what a normal person would do.
And it looks like Mike turned around, said something to him.
And so John Bravo says, Mike turned around and looks like he said something to him. Yeah. What he said to him was, it's going to get real funny real soon. And so Jeff has to be thinking, why is he saying this to me? I'm curious. I want to find out. And so there's two ways you could be thinking about this. And remember, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. Many of you are thinking, well, he walked to him and said sup in his personal business and said it's going to get real funny real soon. And you're going to be thinking, that tells him that I'm about to fight you. When I'm talking about real funny real soon is I'm going to wipe that smirk off your face.
Yeah,
wait till you find out. I'm going to get you in a minute. Perhaps he's waiting for his camera to stop recording. He doesn't want this captured on film.
Absolutely,
but he's
fucking
ready
crazy.
to wipe off that smirk off Jeff Nippard's face. After all, Jeff had the mic drop in his last video. And the other way is, what exactly does he mean by that? And so, is it not normal to want to go and find out? But regardless of which of those...
So, this has been a big thing. Whether or not it was right to approach him, because we're going to get into it a little bit later. After he says sup, after he, you know, gets in his face, Jeff Nippard follows up by being like, hey, you know, what's going on? And people are saying, well, if you knew this guy threatened you, or if you knew this guy was trying to intimidate you, you knew he didn't like you, why would you then approach cameraman ready and, you know, essentially try to even confront him at this point? Now, regardless of that, even if that was the case, even if he did, which maybe he knew that the confrontation it would blow up and he was like, let's say for argument's sake, he did try to go up with the camera and try to stoke some drama because he knew this guy didn't like him and he knew something would pop off. And he thought he was in a safe environment and the camera would be like an extra level of security. Even if that's the case, it still doesn't, you know, it doesn't okay when he's quite a bit away and is trying to, you know, say, hey man, what's going on? Completely in the wrong. There's no real justification for that, honestly, regardless of what you say, unless he was like blatantly harassing him and coming menacingly and, or, you know, doing some crazy shit, then I could maybe get on board. The more I thought about it, no, there's really no way. Even if he was harassing him, and Coach Greg said he got the film, I think he would have said something if something was contrary, that he was looking for a fight or looking to aggravate him, or that he was saying things completely out of pocket, like I want to fuck your mother or something crazy. Maybe if he was saying something like that, if it's completely out of pocket, I could understand this fucking Mike Van Wyck, 320 pounds, by the way. 300. I looked this motherfucker up. Off season, dude, 320 pounds. Fucking Jeff Nippard's only 180 pounds. Don't get me wrong. I hate that people are like, oh, you're picking on little Jeff. Little bitch boy dork Jeff. He's not a small guy, guys. He's a big dude. He might be 5'5", 180 pounds, but he's 180 pounds, okay? He's not a single pushover. Regardless of that, yes, he does weigh quite a bit more. Yes, that is way scarier to actually face in person. Yeah, actually, unhinged behavior, not right regardless.
Those two is the correct answer. It doesn't give Mike permission to go and then attack Jeff.
Yeah,
or
there's no
does it?
reason.
Is Jeff going to now instigate? Well, let's see. And so Jeff
Yes,
then
this is the part.
redoes his set because he's filming a video for YouTube. His cameraman is there, he's paying him, and so he redoes the set. All the while, Mike goes and get a bar to perform the lat pull downs. And so Jeff then says something to his cameraman. We'll talk about that later. I have video footage. We're going to talk about that
Yes,
later.
there
I
we
want to
go.
finish
This is
this.
what I
We'll
wanna
get
see.
to that after. And so Jeff then looks at him and says, Mike, and he's walking over towards him. Perfectly normal. How many times have you been in a gym where you say someone's name, hey, John, hey, Samantha, hey, what's up? And you walk over to say hi. This is normal so far. As you can see, he stops about 10 feet shy of
I could
Mike
even
Van Wyck.
understand
And notice
confronting
how
him and be like, hey, man,
stops
what's
there.
going on? I could
Does he
I could
walk
understand
right
that.
up
Even
to
if
Mike while doing a set and gets in his face with the camera while he's perhaps training a client? I don't think so. He seems to stop 10 feet shy. What does Mike Van Wyck then do? He walks towards Jeff. And so if Mike Van Wyck was feeling threatened, or perhaps he was feeling harassed, why would he then approach Jeff?
Yeah.
Remember, he's 10 feet away.
That's the thing. He was 10 feet away, guys. That's what I was going to say. It's a very slow walk up. There was obviously, no, even if you didn't like him, there's no reason to react that way. Even if he didn't like him, he could have just got in his face and be like, dude, leave me the hell alone. I do not fucking like you. I think you're a leech or whatever. I think you're a fucking loser, and just walked away. Yes, he would have gave him content, or he could have been like, hey, even, I know you would say it's bitch made. He could have went to the staff and said, this guy is blatantly trying to egg me on, and I don't want to deal with him. Please tell him to leave me alone. And even then, that'd be understandable. Sometimes it's the best course of action. This was the worst course of action. No matter how you look at it, Mike Van Wyck, unfortunately, was in the wrong for people who are fans of him. I think he's a tough guy, wannabe tough guy, short temper. This guy's a fucking menace. And I think if you upset him and he's really reacting that way, it's completely unprofessional. It's completely embarrassing, and he should fucking feel bad.
Why would he
100%.
go towards
And
the
it's
danger?
gross. I don't like-
Jeff
I don't like
Nippard
the
is just
tough
so
guy shit.
tough and so scary a person.
This is the shit I'm talking
I
about.
would think that Mike Van Wyck would stay away from him. Would he not? I mean, he's only a former bodyguard to Drake, and so why would he go towards this danger? He knows to stay away.
320
Because
pounds.
many
is crazy.
people are saying Jeff should have known to stay away. It's Jeff's fault for approaching him. Jeff was asking for clarification on what exactly he meant by it's going to get funny real soon. And so Jeff stops at this moment.
Okay, he probably knew, if I'm being fair, that this guy would react in some way, just based on this so far. So hopefully, but you know, even if that is the case, it's still not all right.
I don't
Even if
see
that is the case,
any hands in front of his face. I don't see
I
it.
think he knew he'd react, I should say, explosively. Just based on him, you know, getting extremely angry. Again, still not okay.
Baseball bat or crowbar, nothing in his hands. And he appears to be just asking him a question from 10 feet away. And so does that give Mike the right to now approach Jeff?
Yeah.
And I'm asking you because many
Insane
of you now
reaction.
think that it's okay. You watch John Bravo's footage, you're saying, see, Coach Greg had it wrong. Jeff had it coming to him. And so as Mike approaches Jeff, you can see Jeff
There's no
gets
fucking
perhaps
way, bro.
1 foot closer. Hands are down. They're not
Yeah.
in a position where he may in fact throw a punch. He's not looking aggressive. In fact, he looks a little bit timid. And as Mike gets even closer to Jeff,
Insane.
notice what Jeff does on purpose. And remember, he states this to me in his chat. Jeff literally puts his hands behind his back. In basketball, we would be calling this, he does a block. He's standing like this. I'm not of danger. My hands aren't moving. There's no chance I'm going to hit you. This is not me squaring up to have a fight. And so he stands unaggressively with his hand behind his back. Mike Van Wyck decides to throw it
Dude,
at him.
that's
with
honestly a risk when he had to see his arms going out. The angle of that push too.
aggressively
Look at
with his
this.
hand behind his back.
He's pushing on this side. He could have hit his head, man. That could have. There is a chance it could have fucking laid him the fuck out. This could have been the. There's a small chance it could have been a bad day for Jeff, to say the least, man. Like, you know,
Mike
he's a big
Van
guy.
Wyck
He can take a
decides to
push, but
throw
like,
him with an open hand
could have been
on
way
the
worse
throat,
if he
pushing
didn't have
him
control.
over that bench. And what then transpires? Well, Jeff, he then falls over the bench. Of course he does. Lucky for Jeff, he doesn't fall and hit his head on either the floor or on the machines nearby. Those machines, that one where the bar could rack on, imagine
look at that
hitting
fall
the
it
back of
did.
your head like that. It could have ended very poorly. And so remember, in Canada, we have some strange rules. Laws, if you will. And it states that you're not allowed or permitted to approach someone with a camera, as it may in fact be considered to be harassment. But remember, even if the court were to deem that this is harassment by Jeff, it doesn't give him the right to assault him. But even if it did,
That's what I'm saying. He should have reported it to the staff and just said, hey, this guy, he obviously knows I don't like him and he's approaching me. Tell him to leave me alone. Even though in the beginning he said sup, went up to him. I don't know how he could pull that I'm being harassed, but like it would have been in his best interest to be like, keep this guy away from me, at least to the staff. I do not like him and I don't want him near me. That would have at least been in his best interest instead of the outcome of this, which now his name is fucked. Now, I'm not going to say he can't not have a career. There's crazier people who have careers do totally fine. There's people even who have this guy's back to some degree who are saying, oh, it's not totally in his nature. He's not that type of guy. However, even if he felt slightly egged on, you approached him to some degree, and that's what we have so far. Now, I haven't watched this full video. I haven't watched the next one. So I imagine Greg is going to present some of the material that kind of
making fun of him the entire time with a camera. Exactly what Mike Israetel did to Coach Greg at the Mr. Olympia. Remember that? Approached me with a camera, making fun of my voice. I never wanted to be part of this, but I'm playing along.
Although Mike might actually...
Man, it'd be cool to
Mike's not a small guy.
like
He's
fight a
scary
dog
dude.
with just your hands and...
What are these
Let's say
editing?
the court says, you know what?
I don't think it was that bad. These are decent, right? I mean, you know, he's a big dude.
Let's say the court says, you know what? If somebody walks up to you with a camera, you have every right to hit that person, to push them away from you. You don't want to be filmed. They have no right to film you. Get out of my face. And at worst, if this was about a camera, you would grab the camera and put it down.
Yeah, 100%.
You wouldn't attack Jeff. You would grab the camera.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He could have easily grabbed the camera and moved them.
But what does he do instead?
He could have easily said, "Don't fucking record me. Get out of my face."
And he yet again does the exact same thing.
Oh,
Mike tells Jeff to leave him alone, to
Dude,
stop
why?
talking about him. Mike says to Jeff that he told him to leave him alone a month ago. Last I checked, was it not?
No
Mike
way.
Says to,
He did that
Mike
again?
tells Jeff to leave him alone, to stop talking about him. Mike says to Jeff,
I gotta see that again.
and he yet again does the exact same thing.
Bro, you fucking psychopath. What the fuck? After the follow-up?
Mike
Dude,
tells
he's so
Jeff
fucked.
to leave him alone,
You
to stop
moron.
talking about him. Mike says to Jeff that he told him to leave him alone a month ago. Last I checked, was it not Mike that was talking about Jeff? Mike is the one making videos talking about Jeff and other science-based lifters in the gym, saying, what have you accomplished?
Why is it that you remain so mediocre, yet you know so much?
What is mediocre?
Don't talk about me in videos.
It doesn't work like that. People are allowed to talk about whoever they want. You think The Rock can go up to anyone and attack and assault them? Hey, Coach Greg, I heard you said I wasn't natural in a video. Choke slam. It doesn't work like that. And so after all this, he then goes and attacks the cameraman. Remember, the cameraman did nothing wrong. He's doing his job, and even
I saw a different angle of this, and he could kind of stiff arm Mike, if I'm being correct. And so when he pushed him, he was like, get the fuck away from me. Kind of. If I remember right. I could be wrong, but so I don't really... This part, I'm not so sure.
Put the camera down. He did not even continue to record. And so how could this possibly be considered harassment? The camera did nothing wrong. And so even if you side with Mike, you're just one of these kind of guys, you like bullies. If you snitch, you get a stitch. You're saying, yeah, but Jeff had it coming. This is not the world we want to live in. I ain't about that life. And so I don't care who you are. If you're siding with Mike, thinking what he did is okay, it's justified, then what is wrong with you? let's say that cameraman was your child, your friend, your
Child.
boyfriend. Would you
This
think
is
that
what I keep getting. Jeff Nippard's a 30-year-old man guy. So can we stop? Jeff gotta feel a little weird about this shit. Am I crazy?
that's okay for that to happen to him? I don't think so. And so my personal opinion is Mike is going to get convicted of both those charges and he's going to go to jail. Now, if he doesn't go to jail, he'll at least, in my opinion, be given house arrest and forced to take anger management courses. Do you really want men like this who have no remorse whatsoever? No remorse.
Yeah,
it's not like he
crazy.
slipped and made a mistake and says, geez, what a stupid move I did. I can't believe I did this. Guys, I promise to never do it again. But he has no remorse. You've seen the stories he's posted on his Instagram, and you've seen the merchandise he's dropping. Have you seen the new merchandise? Are you kidding me?
Dude.
And so he stands to profit off this. Hey guys, buy my merchandise. Imagine being caught wearing his merchandise right now. If you buy his merchandise, what that tells me is that you support bullying. That's the kind of person that you are, not the kind of person that I'm going to want to talk to. You're literally supporting somebody that goes and attacks someone. And so it's 2024. I guess people are just going to try to stand out by being the exact opposite what a normal person in society should be.
This part here, all of this, was filmed by his cameraman, but they released only that 6-second clip.
There we go. This is what I'm hoping
Why did they
for.
only release that 6 clip when the
This is what I'm
footage
hoping
from
for.
prior to that we see here is so important?
And so here's the footage of what transpired before the assault took place.
Let's hear it, Greg. All right.
Hey, Mike. Let's go over here.
Jeff Nippard is doing a set of curls. At the end of the set, on his last rep or two, he says, "Hey, Mike," and he finishes his set.
Yeah, weird.
Hey, Mike.
That's all we know from this. He didn't say, "Hey, you well, Mike." He didn't say, "Tard." He didn't make fun of his tan. He didn't do anything. Let's analyze his tone. He's doing a set. He's training. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I don't get that he wants to have a fight. If he did, he would say,
Yeah,
"Hey, Mike."
that was
Now,
completely
I
unaggressive.
don't get that he wants to have a fight. If he did, he would say, "Hey, Mike." Now, if it was the opposite, if it was Mike doing the set and he said, "Hey, Jeff." If I'm Jeff, I'm scared. And upon completing the set, this is what happens next.
Let's go over here.
Jeff turns his camera to ensure that he's going to record this. And then he walks
Yeah,
up
he
to
did the
Mike.
right
Remember,
thing.
are you not going to feel a lot safer while a camera's recording than if it isn't recording? If Jeff were slightly nervous that perhaps Mike was possibly going to be a threat to him, that he perhaps might hit him, would he not want to have a camera to ensure his safety?
Yeah.
Why do people have dash cams on their
100%.
cars? But just because Jeff had a camera present, and just because many of you wouldn't have approached Mike because he's a big scary man with tattoos, doesn't mean that Jeff doesn't have the right to approach him. Remember, he didn't get up in his face. If he got to within 1 foot of him and started yelling at him, it's a different story. He got to 10 feet away from him. Mike then approached him. Mike Vic never said, "Do not approach me. Do not approach me."
So, yes, the camera was for his safety to make sure nothing happened. Or he might have known, hey, this guy may react explosively. Still doesn't. Obviously, I've probably said this, but now with the extra added context, yes, he probably brought it with him. He knew that this guy may react explosively. So him going up to him, he knew that would be even so wasn't okay. And that's not a world that we should live in, where he calmly said, "Hey, Mike," while doing sets. Well, Mike is a much bigger, scarier man. If we're just being honest, there was really nothing that would constitute that. There was no aggressive behavior. He could have just said, "Fuck off, I don't like you." But instead, he chose a very aggressive stance. You could not look like an asshole and be like, "Look, I really don't like you. I think what you do is cancerous. I think that you're a terrible person," so on and so forth. "Leave me alone. Don't ever talk to me. I hate even knowing that you exist." And I wanted to at least put that out there. And that's why I said hey to you earlier. Maybe then I could understand. This guy took the worst approach ever, and now he's going to get
Do
fucked
not
in
approach
every
me.
decision.
If a man walks up to a woman and says, "Hi, my name is Jeff,"
My name is Jeff.
the woman can't throat punch the man. That is equivalent to what happened
Insane.
here. And so I guess I screwed up. When Mike Israetel approached me at the Olympia with a camera and made fun of me, I was supposed to assault him.
Yeah,
Of course
exactly.
not. This is ridiculous. I could have said, Mike, I don't like you making fun of me. I don't want to be in this video. And so turn it off. And I could have walked away. But I can't assault him. That is ridiculous. And so people who think that you can resort to violence because of something somebody said, in particular in a video, what is wrong with you? Put on your thinking cap or don't go out in public. You need to read some books. You need to touch grass. And remember, this video, it was caught in 4K. If anything, this exonerates Jeff even more. You were thinking, no, this is going to show a new light, a new picture. Mike is innocent after all. Fuad Abiyad and those guys, they had it right all along. It's the opposite. In the CCT footage, we see him multiple times attacking Jeff. In the original footage, we saw 3 seconds of it. One throat punch. Many people, oh, he went to the hospital for this? He attacked him multiple times. He was aggressive to not only him, but to his cameraman. It shows Mike's true character. And not only that, to now show no remorse, no apologies whatsoever to him or the cameraman. No one. I mean, after all, we all know he had beef with Jeff. What about the cameraman? Is the cameraman on innocent of this?
I have nothing against steroids. I know I like to make that joke. You've probably seen my other videos. Nothing against steroids. But when you roid rage, I'm gonna throw some of those insults, okay? I am, okay? You know, say what you want, okay? Is that bodybuilder phobic? Is that, you know, big boy phobic? You know, it is what it is. Women take it too, okay? Maybe gorilla phobic might be. Yeah, lifter phobic, I guess. I don't know. But regardless, you know, it's just, it is what it is. This guy obviously needs some anger management, to say the least.
So how can you guys ignore this? Those of you who think that Jeff is wrong in this, how can you ignore what he did to not one, but two people? And on top of all of this, he drops a new line of merch. And so if only Jeff Nippard had offered Mike Van Wyck, the Turk Builder, or Geotumax.
I ripped off your entire video, at least I can let you do.
Make enemies become friends is giving them the gift of Turk Builder and Geotumax.
Please don't strike me, Greg.
Obviously, the cookbook could have resolved all of these arguments. Imagine if Jeff Nippard or Mike Van Wyck had made each other some anabolic French toast, there would be no arguments. The hatred, it would be squashed. The cookbook is the cure, and if you're interested in turkesterone, which is actually in this bottle, unlike many of the competitors, I don't dare say all of them, because perhaps there's one or two others.
I just take the regular multivitamin.
I haven't seen any yet, but perhaps
protein,
there is. And so if you're interested in actual turkesterone, get
fish oil,
Turk Max. Turkesterone,
you know, the staples.
Now Turk Max. It's a cooler name and so on, as well as Geotumax. See how they rhyme the Max and the Max. Anyway, there's literally a money-back guarantee, and so if you're interested in these, code Greg, 15% off.
Support Coach Greg. All right, we're gonna watch his most recent video now. This hopefully wraps it up.
From the back, my back is
haven't seen this.
My back's here.
And so Mike turns to the rear and shows us the back of his shirt. Tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be banned from thinking so as not to offend
the great thinker, Mike Van Wyck.
As we are, we're not
I'm sorry to
be
pause.
Tolerant of guys who
the great thinker, scholar of our time, immediately
on how to
approaches a situation with fucking violence. The great
Mike Van Wyck responds, posting to YouTube. What will he be talking about? Is it in fact an apology to Jeff Nippard? What is he saying after all that has transpired in the past week?
I thought of it the other day. I didn't, like I was training someone and it just kind of came to me. It's pretty obvious when you think about it, so don't act like it's something groundbreaking.
And so Mike Van Wyck completely ignores anything that's happened, chooses not to respond. He doesn't respond to anything aside from showing what's written on the back of his shirt. Let's go to the comment section and see what are people saying about Mike Van Wyck. 3 sets of aggravated assault. Arrived, paused video, disliked, read the comments, left. I came here for the comments and I'm not disappointed. Mike's push workout. 1 chest press, 4 sets of 10. 2 pec deck, 4 sets of 10. 3 Nippard throws, 1 set of 2
I want to do a Nippard throw.
Common lifting mistake you forgot to mention is attacking people in the gym. Lifting mistake number 1, not controlling your roid rage. 3 sets of anger management till failure. Oh, is that a different gym I see? Wondering why. 4 sets of attacking smaller people at the gym unprovoked and not taking accountability for it till failure. Can you teach us how to be a bully to people half our size and be scared of people our own size? Like you were scared of Eric. Jeff Nippard made you famous.
People have
Here's
been
the thing.
fucking
I was
challenging
looking
this
at
guy.
how many followers he had, how much traction was on his channel. He was getting approximately 7 to 17,000 views per video. Not too bad.
No,
but
that's pretty
nothing
good.
Extraordinary.
I wish. And I wish, honestly, guys. I'm not going to talk shit about that.
About 5 to 10 times more views. And so what does
Wait,
that
what's that?
about? But nothing extraordinary. And since that time, about 5 to 10 times more views. And so what does that mean? It means that he's making approximately 5 to 10 times more money from the ads generated from YouTube. Despite the fact that he's gotten so much negative publicity, it's actually allowing him to make more money. And so for those of you saying, I feel so bad for this guy, imagine losing your career. Over what? Attacking someone in the gym with a throat punch that could have gone far worse? And attacking the man's cameraman for no reason. And so you feel bad for this guy. Oh, boo-hoo, Mike Van Wyck, I feel so bad for him. He doesn't deserve to lose everything. He's making more money. And since that time, he's literally released another line of clothing using what happened.
Now, he could be doing this because he knows he's about to get his fucking his shit rocked, dude. This guy's gonna get sued and probably gonna get completely fucked. Jeff Nippard took a picture of himself in the ER right after this. And, you know, at first I thought, I was like, oh, you're gonna fucking be a baby about this? Like, really, dude? You just got fucking pushed. Do you really need that? Like, you kind of look like, kind of just are kind of milking this, right? Now, after watching all this, watching the previous video, after getting the full context of getting behind the scenes, when the camera was going, what he said, I believe he is vindicated. And this Big Mike, he's a schoolyard bully, fucking loser, who deserves much less than he's getting. And honestly, like I said, cancellations only go so far. People, if he just keeps making fucking videos, look at the Dr. Disrespect. That guy, caught dead to rights, admitted it fully in his latest video as well. Nothing fucking happened. The guy's posting like it's whatever. That guy might hit up 20 more 16-year-olds. And his 40-year-old old-ass man can't control himself. Get an escort, Doc. Get your shit together. What are you fucking doing, bro? How old are you? No, but yeah, Doc is just such a fucking corny dude. Like, I did like the Doc, but then to like that, okay, we're not talking about the Doc. Fucking, anyways. But yeah, fuck that guy.
To Jeff Nippard as a way to make even more money. And so what happens in the YouTube world is when something pushes your popularity, whether it's good, whether it's bad, YouTube doesn't know this. All they know is that more people than ever before, 10 times more people, are going to watch his videos. And so what does that mean? Once you click and watch a Mike Van Wyck video, the YouTube algorithm is thinking, they like Mike Van Wyck. Let's show them more videos. And so what has all this done? It's made him more popular than ever. And so regardless of the fact that most people are not going to want to watch
Same thing
this
happened to
guy,
the Doc, like I was saying.
they're not going to follow him. There are perhaps 1% of the population that's proud of him. I love this guy. Eric, the nerds. Those guys are losers. You're cool.
I know. I've seen people say that, you know, oh, you're good. Why approach him? Man, we need to go back to when when people would stand up to people and be able to, you know, get punished for their action. I'm like, dude, that would be a horrible world we would live in. Like, everyone's like, bitch made. Why you gotta fucking, you know, sue people? Why you gotta... It's to deter this type of behavior. There are some behaviors that are egregious. Now, there are people who would take advantage of that and just completely act off the cuff because they know that they have protection legally in some way. And one guy, fucking Johnny Somali, and he would constantly take advantage of that, knowing that like he's in pretty well-established protected countries that will let his bad behavior go. And people will push the boundaries, but the guards are there for a reason. It's because when people overreact, when people do these kind of actions and blatantly can cause harm to people, we have these guardrails to make sure that we're safe. And that's why they're important. You know, this guy is unhinged. He shouldn't have reacted like that. There was a better solution. This guy says he's the thinker from the back of his shirt. And he couldn't even fathom how bad of a reaction that is. Okay. He'll probably get fined. He may do community service. I'm not sure. Who knows the laws and where this happened. But yeah, I don't think it'll work out the way he's hoping it's going
and you
to.
have tattoos, and you pick on smaller people, and when it's somebody your own size, well, you are a coward towards him. I love this guy. You're what I want to be like. And so I'm going to now follow and root for you. And so because of all of this fiasco, those 1%ers of the world, they're now going to be able to flock together and become a fan of Big Mike Van Wyck. After all, the guy is amazing. He got 13th place in a pro show and then stopped competing. And he's so cool. He's associated with Fuad
Hey,
Alia.
man, you know, say what you want, but that's pretty impressive in my book, okay? Get on stage, to put yourself through that, to want to at least chase it. I don't think no matter where you end, you should be shit on for at least attempting something. You know, it takes a lot of people. Not everyone's going to be number one, you know. Not everyone's going to be
that
fucking
is the
Chris
coolest thing in the
Bumstead,
world.
you know.
He goes on his podcast and talks about training.
But this guy, actually, never mind. This guy fucking was talking shit about Jeff Nippard's career, pretty much. Wait a minute. What the fuck am I talking about?
Awesome.
What the fuck? Fuck this
And
guy.
so let's all watch Mike Van Wyck. And so in the
completely
end,
contradicts
more of the
myself.
haters of Jeff Nippard, the guys that hate the science, the guys who love performance-enhancing drugs, especially the bullies, they're all going to subscribe to Mike Van Wyck and make him more popular than ever. And so overall, what's this going to do? It's going to increase the money that Big Mike Van Wyck is making.
Yeah.
And so if you feel bad for him, why would you feel bad for him? The guy is making more money than ever before. Next workout should be looking for opponents your own size. Record as much as you can because you won't get a camera in jail. Next video is lifting in prison, what training with convicted felons is like. I can see future...
Oh, who's that one fucking guy? Oh my God. Wes Watson. Him and Wes Watson can hook up. The next video is him defending him, which we may watch. We may watch that. This video is already long, so fuck it. I kind of want to watch them all and just react
Business
to it.
opportunities for Mike here. He should make commercials for Vaseline and soap. Science made me do it. Next merch drop. Just here to dislike. Why didn't you fight Joey Stacks, Tanner, or Eric? Fixing your
Dude.
mistakes starts with an
Who's
apology.
Joey Stacks? Who is Joey Stacks? This guy. Yeah, this guy's a big boy. I don't know Joey Stacks. He could be a fucking monster, martial artist, crazy dude. I don't know. You need somebody smaller that you can easily stand over. It's kind of pathetic, dude. Anyways, let's keep going.
Is it your giant ego or your attorney stopping you from doing the right thing? I assume your next video will be a tutorial on how to tank your reputation. That seems to be what you're hinting at with everything. I'm not listening to a middle-aged man with anger issues and no accountability. You have no shame.
Yeah, he
Came
could
here-
have just said, hey, that was completely inappropriate. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have told him I really dislike him and I just wanted him to get away. I don't know. That was completely inappropriate. I'm sorry for what I did. I still don't like you. I think you're a bad person. You know, X, 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 and X. And then if you did a video like that, I think a lot of people would be understanding. But I guess this route works too. Fuck the haters. Fuck this guy. Fucking pussy. I'm the real thinker here.
Here to ratio the video but stayed for the comments. Public apology would be big. Wait, wasn't your biggest lifting mistake when you throat punched Jeff? Great video. I mean, I didn't watch it. Why would I? But I'm glad you uploaded it so we can roast you in the comments. Watch Jeff post a science-based prison workout. 3 sets of don't drop the soap. I bet you won't do that crap to Mike Israetel. Mike's views and interactions has quadrupled. Hate really sells. Love how everyone is so invested. Mike's fanboys brown-nosing him yet again, even with the CCTV footage proving Mike being the instigator for no reason. LOL. Listen, I didn't seek this video out. It just got recommended to me. But you bet your ass I'm going to click and enjoy the comments coming in when it's put right in front of my face. So that's what I'm talking about. Mike is going to be more popular than ever before. He's in the algorithm. He's going to be shown to everyone, as the YouTube algorithm doesn't understand that people are only watching this guy because they dislike him. YouTube doesn't care. All they care is that you're clicking, watching a video, and even better, writing comments. Funny thing is, these comments are boosting Mike's numbers. Looking forward to seeing How to Be Jacked in Jail series. Team Mike. You'll get through this and be bigger than before. And so after reading 100 comments, I found one that's in his favor. But that person is correct. Despite the fact that Mike Van Wyck is now infamous, he's so infamous that he's going to get more followers. 100%. More people are going to be watching his content. More people are going to be buying his merchandise.
Nutty, dude.
And so he's actually going to make even more money. Thanks for keeping it going. Most don't understand and are just perfect little princesses their entire lives. No excuses, but all understanding. God bless and keep it pushing. See, there's a difference between making mistakes, admitting to those mistakes, apologizing for those mistakes, versus making those mistakes and then glorifying it.
Yeah, 100%.
Not giving two shits about the things that you've done, making merchandise to support those facts, and posting all the positivity that you're getting on your stories.
I think he's banking that he'll just receive the lawsuit. I think that's it, and then he'll be fined, and that would be it. I think that's his best bet, is like, oh, you know, I'll take my licks, but I'll make as much money off this as I can and take advantage of the situation as much as I can. I guess Drake's bodyguard didn't pay as well as it should have.
If Mike had opened up with an apology, admitting he had made a mistake, this would have gone far differently. But the fact that he's doubling down, ignoring everything, acting as if he did nothing wrong, that to me is what's truly disgusting about what's transpired. I like to combo John Meadows for advice on sets and reps tempo and Wick for overall form. Has this person been sleeping under a rock? I mean, I read almost every single comment. Is it in fact possible that this person actually watched this video without knowing what he did to Jeff Nippard? Fix your common lifting mistakes by going to prison for assault. You'll have all of the time for lifting then. I think this guy will become the next Wes Watson. Yes. I'm absolutely certain that Wes Watson is a huge fan of this guy. This is exactly the type of guy that he would be in favor of. A man who he thinks is such a great guy.
This guy
is the type of man that we want in this world.
Is a knuckle-dragging,
passive-aggressive cook who push the buttons of monkey motherfucker and then go run into the police.
Team Wicked. 21 people like that. 21 of you enjoy going to prison. You think it's fun. You think it's cool. You are in favor of bullying. If you're on Team MV Wick, well, I got news for you. It's not looking good. And so you all thought the O.J. Simpson case was huge. You remember that if you're old like Coach Greg. You remember O.J. Simpson going to trial, and that's what everyone talked about. This is the new O.J. Simpson trial. The majority of people felt that, O.J. Simpson, he probably did it. Then it had a little bit of difficulty when he tried to put on that glove, and it didn't quite fit. But in the end, how did it work out for O.J. Simpson? And so 2024 will be remembered for Jay Nippard versus MV Wick. Now, if you don't want to abuse performance-enhancing drugs, for example, what most IFBB pros are doing,
here we go. Testosterone.
Testosterone. Now, I'm going to break it up. There is, of course, a money-back guarantee. Many people are skeptical. They don't know if it's going to work because they've tried other competing brands.
I do owe you for these videos. I may buy bottled Greg.
Remember,
can you give me a discount?
Gets testosterone from Uzbekistan.
I'm a fan. I also watch Mike Israetel though. So
exactly what it is.
I might let you down in that regard. I'm sorry, buddy.
It's way more effective than creatine. And so if you believe in creatine, you think, wow, that supplement, it really works. far more effective than creatine.
I'll give it a
And
shot
so
for a
if you
discount,
purchase
Mike.
it and you don't think
not
it's
Mike.
as good as
Greg.
creatine,
Sorry.
you don't feel its effects.
Too many
you get
mics,
your money back.
all right?
Is it more complicated than that? And so don't forget to use code Greg to save.
All right, I watched the last one,
15%
Greg. I'm
off.
sorry,
Let me
but we
know in the
gotta
comment
get it
section how
moving. We
many
gotta get
are
it
on
moving.
Team
You're a good guy,
MV
buddy.
And
I'm gonna say I love you.
rather
You know what?
than
I'm gonna commit. I
treating
love
other
you, buddy.
people-
I'm there for you, all right? Okay.
Rather than treating other people like they're a bunch of turtles, why not realize that not everyone is an turtle like yourself and be nice to them? There's a saying, you catch more
That
flies with
motherfucker on an
honey than
Instagram
you do
filter?
by Gregging your Duecette.
What did he say?
What are these ads? What was that?
Coach Greg, in
I
today's
think
video,
you got something pulled
Wes
over me.
Watson sides with Mike Van Wyck
Bruh.
and unleashes an attack at Jeff Nippard. In Wes Watson's
so
opinion,
fucking lame,
Mike Van
dude.
Wyck went easy on Jeff Nippard. That Jeff Nippard, he had it coming and he should have ended things a lot more severely than he actually did.
Severe?
And so
What do you
is anyone-
what? What? He was gonna fucking beat his ass down? He would have killed
surprised
him.
by this? Wes Watson is the epitome of a beta male. He pretends.
Wait, did he say that?
S
I'm sorry, I gotta go
Watson,
back.
He had it coming, and Wyck went easy on Jeff. In Wes Watson's opinion, Mike Van Wyck
did
went
say it.
easy on Jeff Nippard. That Jeff Nippard, he had it coming, and he should have ended things a lot more severely than he
Bro.
actually did. And so, is anyone surprised by this? Wes Watson is the epitome of a beta male. He pretends, he acts like he's tough. Oh,
He's
I
a
was
fucking
in prison
loser.
for
I
10 years.
actually
And
really
so he
greatly
says,
dislike this
but
guy.
was he really? And so imagine
Fucking
lying
loser.
about having gone to prison.
He
in order
actually
to look
makes me
tough.
angry.
And all
I don't-
the
I-
while, we
I
all know
really
he
don't like this
uses
guy.
and abuses performance-enhancing drugs so that the exterior shell that he presents to the world,
Everything's
that
fake
he can
about that
actually look
fucking
tough.
loser.
But deep down inside, this man,
He doesn't even. He's so insecure. The guy doesn't even understand. I'm gonna lose it. The guy has no fulfillment in his life. He has no understanding between the difference between material and like fulfillment and understanding in any sense. I know it sounds lame, but this guy is a shallow, hollow man from top to bottom. I really
very
dislike
insecure.
this fucking guy.
Perhaps the world corrupted him. He went to jail, and perhaps other men used this man, situationships and so on. Yeah, boy. Perhaps the only way he could get back at the world was to get out of
saying you're
jail
getting
and pick on
fucked in
people
the
who are
ass.
smaller than him. We've seen
Just
him
say it,
have
Greg.
a
Say it
temper
with your chest.
tantrum against the gardener, who
Jesus.
literally was hired to do his own job.
Getting some bum play.
Get that the f out of here. Would a real alpha freak out, go out and yell at a gardener for doing his job? And does anyone have any respect for somebody who says Turk and shit and curses like this? He can't express himself like a normal human being?
Hey.
Could he not have opened the
Hey.
door, went up to the guy and said, hey, could you keep it down? I'm trying to do this
Hey,
video.
Greg,
Hope you
friendly
don't
fire.
mind.
Okay,
no
buddy?
offense to you. You're
Calm
doing
down.
your job, but I'd like you to keep it down. People respect people who respect them back. And so
To a random stranger, yes.
rather than treating other people like they're a bunch of assholes, why not realize that not everyone is an asshole like yourself and be nice to them? There's a saying, you catch more flies with honey than you do by Gregging your Duecette.
What did he say?
And we've seen him on that podcast where he's interacting,
Legend.
screaming at another man,
Aye.
making
Oh my
fun of his
God, look at the
appearance because
state of
he
this
has
fucking-
more body fat than he does. All the while pretending to be a multimillionaire and having all the hottest girls chasing
Fakest
after him, when
motherfucker.
in reality, he's paying for this. And rather than buying
Everything's-
cars and homes
everything's
like
an
normal
optical
people,
illusion.
he simply rents them out.
How'd we meet? She was walking her dog by this restaurant over by Cipriani.
And so imagine having to lie about how you met a woman. Hey, if you want to meet a woman on a dating service site, an escort site, by all means. But why are you lying about it? You got the money, do what you want. If you want to rent a girl to stay and live with you who barely speaks any English, then hey, by all means. I mean, after all, would she actually want to stay if she understood the nonsense that you've been
I don't know. I feel like that's a hard sell because everyone's saying that he bought that wife. You gotta show me. I don't know, man. She was on an escort site. So it's like, That's a hard. I'm like, fuck. Are you serious? Oh, dude, I'd probably cry. Someone should try to get her services and see if she responds, and then we could get to the bottom of it. All right, offer a good amount of money.
I think the
any huge
relationship
benefactor
works.
watching,
Jumped up off
we
the
need
table
you
where
to
we
do
were eating.
this.
I ran over there. I said, "What's up? What are you doing? What's your name?" And my Instagram was down at the time, so I couldn't even flex the gram on her.
I couldn't even flex the gram on her. If you have to approach a woman and say how many followers
Yeah, that's so embarrassing. I had to leave my bank account open like I normally would if, on the bar table before I approached somebody, but my phone wasn't working, so my game couldn't work. You fucking what? You have no game then. If the only way you could attract somebody is with these superficial ideals and money, then you're probably gonna. You had nothing to begin with. You were never that guy. Okay, you could be a billionaire and you would still be a fucking loser. Now, there's nothing wrong. I always had this thing that if somebody likes you for some superficial reason, like you're good looking, you're whatever, like that, that's fine. But then don't go out in the wilderness and say, I have such game, I could do this and stuff, when the majority of the reason they like you is things that you couldn't connect to normal people with. So you not only could you not speak for them, that you couldn't do it without these handicaps that you've been, that you worked hard for, that you've been given, or these benefits that you've been given. So then, like, without that, could you do that? Should you be saying you have the secret key when you have all these huge advantages that the normal person doesn't have? No, obviously.
Have on Instagram in order to convince her to want to talk to you.
With
it's over before
people
it starts.
being superficial
Men,
about
if you
each other
don't
is good.
already know this, you want your woman to have a genuine sexual desire for you from the beginning. You can't
100%.
fake or pretend to have a genuine attraction for another human being. And so if she's only dating you for your followers or for your money, and she doesn't actually have the hots for you as a person, it's doomed before it even starts. But Wes Watson, he doesn't realize this.
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, like she barely speaks English.
And so he's trying to give the illusion that he's
in Colombia.
an alpha, perhaps a sigma, that he's a
He's in
man's
Thailand,
man,
most likely,
that you
actually,
can't
looking for a
mess
little bit of
with him.
something else.
And so is anyone surprised that he sides with Mike Van Wyck? I mean, after all, this
they're
man,
both
he
fucking
carries
cavemen.
around a purse. You seen this guy? And so perhaps he's flirting with Mike Van Wyck. But yes, Mike Van Wyck is perhaps already in a situationship with Fuad Abidan. And so take a number. And so just because you make a video simping for Big Mike Van Wyck doesn't mean he's gonna actually like you. But I get it, you went to jail, you're bald and have tattoos just like him, and so you're attracted to him. There's nothing wrong with that. I understand it.
Good one, guys.
Remember,
you guys are
nothing
gay.
wrong with that. I have nothing against people who are
and
gay,
stupid.
bisexual, and so on. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with being gay.
To Big Mike
Okay,
Van
buddy.
Wyck, remember,
Good one.
Mike Van Wyck
Good
was
one,
an
Greg.
IFBB pro. He managed to get 13th out of 15 in a professional bodybuilding competition. And so Wes Watson, all hopped up on steroids, same as Mike Van Wyck, he speaks out against Jeff Nippard.
You pussies are in the comments going, he should press charges. No, he should get pushed by the neck and then get his head stepped on.
Does that make sense,
Bitch.
Wes? I mean, understand
the internet
this.
tough guy
if
stuff
you break the law,
breaks my
you
brain,
then
dude.
become
I
a
can't.
criminal and you might end up in jail. Something you should be all too familiar with. And seeing as you walk around with the purse...
Or just even tough guy. Like let's say, I don't like a lot of people who are famous who can do these, could do that easily, and he could, it's still like just so demeaning that you can't even formulate any type of like response. You can't think anywhere outside of solving your problems and with violence because you're too fucking stupid. And you're very short-sighted. Like it's
and
very
you like picking on men who are smaller than
embarrassing.
You're likely
It's fucking
projecting
sad.
your own insecurities and lashing out at the world because you've
Just
been
scream
made to
like
do
I'm a
things
fucking
by
child.
other men who are larger than you. And so considering that likely you were in fact bullied, you're now bullying other...
So in your worldview, should half Thor come up to you and just fucking grab you by the head and rip out your spine like a Mortal Kombat finisher. No, okay, like it's ridiculous.
And so the cycle continues.
You guys need to know your fucking place before you get put in it. Some people don't give a fuck about the consequences.
And yes, Wes, you're correct.
Yes,
Some
yeah.
people don't give a shit about the consequences.
Well, the consequences
and
are
they'll
here.
do whatever they're going to do. But realize this. There are, in fact, consequences for your actions. And so if you don't give a shit about those consequences, you might do horrible things. But then once you're caught, especially in 4K with a video camera proving you in fact did that crime, you then have to pay the repercussions. If you don't care about that, I don't care if I'm going to jail. I'm going to do this
then
anyway.
why are you crying?
Well, that's your choice. But if you do in fact take on that choice, you have to be prepared for the fallout.
You can do
100%.
anything you want if you don't give a fuck about the consequences. And a lot of you pussies who are online talking shit are going to catch a big old monster on the wrong day.
And so, Wes, when you...
Yeah, I mean, that is true, though. You shouldn't put yourself in compromising positions, no matter where you are, because the cops aren't always... I'm going to be real with you guys, okay? Things people don't know. Cops aren't always going to save you. Some people will do terrible things and get away with it. However, you know, time and place. This was a public gym. He was recorded in public. He is very much in... signed his life away at that point. I don't know what to tell you. That was incredibly short-sighted and stupid because he couldn't control his anger. And even then, outside of you being caught and, you know, you possibly going to jail, it still is not right to ever do anything like that. Because you just don't want a society where people are just hurting people and being able to, at will, enact what they believe is justice. Because not everyone has a full concept of what is fair and righteous and what should happen. And people are fucking evil. You know, they'll do terrible shit. But yes, there are time and places that you shouldn't be going to a dark alley full of thugs and being, hey, what's going up here? And then like try it. And then like, you know, that's probably not a good idea. But this is not this is such a far removed idea of that there was absolutely no reason that should have happened. He was at a public gym, cameras everywhere, fully daylight in front of everybody, a normal public area, and no one should have that happen anyway. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just absolutely insane. But yeah, guys, time and place, some people do not give a fuck, and they will do crazy shit. Just, you know, be careful out there, you know.
You say the women that you're meeting, it just happened to be that way, that you didn't pay them to do anything, and it comes out that you did, well, you have to pay those consequences. And to the same extent, when you scream at the gardener in this way and people see you doing these things, you can do what you want, you can do that, but then you're painting a picture of the type 100%. Of person that you are. And if you don't care about that, well, that's fine. But when people then make videos explaining exactly the person that you are, you have to accept those consequences.
Century for 10 years, watching people get their heads sawed off.
Were you really? Were you literally in the penitentiary for 10 years?
The worst thing about prison was the Dementors.
And if so, which men took care of you while you were in jail? Who looked after you? In other words, who was your boyfriend when you were in jail?
You can't even just normally fight in most places.
Enough with the gay jokes, Greg, okay? Okay, I get it. You're trying to demasculate him in some way. No, there are other jokes. Like, he is incredibly insecure, his lifts suck. Like, you go some other place.
You have to cut the motherfucker up. You guys are so soft, it's disgusting.
And so it's one thing to
completely
yap,
terrible
yap,
yapping,
make it a video,
moronic
from
views,
thousands of miles away from the actual person you're talking about. Somebody who's perhaps half your size.
Put him on a dunce cap. Edit a dunce cap on him.
To someone equal
I don't know.
Or perhaps a little bit bigger.
The first 10 was fine, is all I'm saying.
The ones that yap the most. They often say nothing. People who run their mouths the most are often the people who are the most scared. They don't expect anyone to actually fight back. They think that by yelling, being intimidating, having a bald head and tattoos, that no one is going to call them out on their bullshit.
Remember how my friends Eric Konevsky, Joey Stacks, Tanner, they went up to Mike, and he didn't want any part of it.
And so when Mike Van Wyck was confronted by other men who were perhaps his own size, he chimed away. They challenged him to a fight. You want to go outside? And he declined. And so if he was so tough, such a strong man, why didn't he walk outside and fight and settle it like men? And so are you really a big, strong, tough man if the only person you're willing to talk to is somebody who can't defend himself?
There's no way you were even that close unless you were provoking him. It doesn't matter. He didn't
Look at his
come and-
manicured fucking, oh my fucking, over, oh, I can see now why all the, all those types of emasculating jokes were coming from, okay?
Like you wanted some business.
Jeff never said to him,
No, he
let's
didn't.
step outside and settle this like men. Jeff never said, I want to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike Van Wyck also
Hands behind
never
his
said he
back,
wanted
you're
to
fucked,
fight.
dude.
He never said, I'm going to hit you. He never said, I'm going to have a fight with you. He never challenged him to anything. He sucker punched him out of nowhere. Like a bitch.
Yeah.
If you're going to fight
is
with somebody,
bitch-made.
at least tell them you're going to do it first.
You should have left, bitch, because you know you're a cop calling, bitch.
He has a purse and he runs around calling other men bitches, pussies, and so on. Dude, you've got a purse.
You should have left the him and known you were too big of a bitch and you were going to call the cops.
And yes, charges have in fact been laid, Wes. But remember this. You said some people don't care about the consequences.
Yeah.
Well, if they don't care about the consequences and somebody calls the cops and charges the person, well, you don't care now, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't care about the consequences. Well, you're getting taken to jail. I don't know what to tell you. Well, you know, if you're going to talk shit, you know, it's and you're going to get in trouble, then maybe you should, you know, the consequences are there. I just don't know what to say to this. It's like a completely asinine way of thinking. But, you know, what do you expect from Wes Watson? You know, complete fucking moron.
That is one thing you need to remember. You may not care about the consequences, but once you're in court, once you're in a jail cell, maybe you'll care about it then. Once you then get out of jail, hopefully reformed, perhaps you'll think twice before doing the same.
He needs some consequences. He needs to be put in anger management. He may even need to go to jail to help relate, you know, kind of calm down and deal with his issues. There's really no other standard for this. The guy completely overreacted. Like I said, obviously, you know, if you're out in the public and you see some big dude and he doesn't like you and it's like a dark alley or anything like that, you know, don't approach him. It won't always end like this. Yes, I mean, Wes Watson does have that point. You know, sometimes you need to be smart, but it's a public area. His whole argument falls to shit. You know, it was a completely normal, not even aggressive situation. His whole argument is just faulty. It's on a pile of sticks.
Again. And so perhaps Wes is simply having a hard time getting it harder than last time. I mean, he's out of jail.
All right,
he's not
buddy.
around men all the time. So perhaps he's really struggling. Now remember, you can save 15% off by
Great
entering
stuff.
code
I'll
red.
you know,
Click
I
the
skipped
link
the
in
last one,
description.
okay.
And perhaps get off all the testosterone, the steroids. Use natural supplements like turkesterone. Perhaps you've done too many steroids and you need to get off. And so code Greg, 15% off. Remember, there's literally a money back guarantee. If you don't believe that it's going to work, money back guarantee. Click the link in the description, code Greg, 15% off.
Anyways, Mike Van Wyck is fucked in one shape, way, or form. However, can he turn this around and turn it into a viable social media career? That's not off the table. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Anyways, you guys have a good night. Be sure to kiss a baby goodnight and tell your neighbors you love them. Take it easy. Bye.